And hello and welcome to Scolinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us for this non-league matchup featuring the Inland Valley Pirates and the visiting San Diego Force. This will be a thrilling affair to witness and to listen to here on our air today because Pirates come in, of course, 23-5 overall. Meanwhile, the San Diego Force 32-7. So two of the best teams in all of Southern California on the field at Cal Poly Pomona today, just about getting set for opening pitch to come at 5 o'clock, as we will have Jack Johnson, the starting pitcher for the Pirates in this game. We figured to see maybe a bunch of Pirate pitchers in this game because we're not sure yet if Friday is going to matter in the league standings. At this point in the league standings, the Pirates are 10-4 and the Power 11-4, so the Power are half game up. If the Power loses tonight, which is their final league game, the Pirates will control their own fate, their own destiny on Friday against Team San Diego. But if the Power wins, the games on Friday essentially are meaningless in the standings because in that scenario, if the Power win tonight, they will clinch the number 1 seed. The Pirates will already be the number 2 seed no matter what happens on Friday. And Team San Diego will already be the number 3 seed no matter what happens on Friday. So that's where we stand in the SCCBL rundown as Jack Johnson loosens up. Of course, Jack Johnson, 6'0", 190 southpaw from UC Riverside, where he'll be a sophomore next year. I'll give you the starting lineup for the San Diego Force and the starting defense for the Pirates. Here's the lineup for the Force. Leading off in right is Tim Williams. Batting second, the shortstop Austin Wobrock. Batting third, Joshua Davis, the catcher. The cleanup hitter is Hunter Ridge at third base. Designated hitter Andrew Mallon in the 5-hole. Batting sixth, Josh Montgomery, the left fielder. Batting seventh, Cole Johnson, the first baseman. Batting eighth, center fielder Mitchell Esser. And last but not least in the 9 spot, the second baseman Zach Israel. Here's what the defense looks like for the Pirates. Going left to right across the outfield, it's Michael Johnson, Nolan Henley, and Kyle Garlick. Going left to right across the infield, Johnny Reynoso, Channing Varela, Fernando Escobar, and Andrew Alvarez. And behind home plate is a mainstay and definitely one of the best backstops you'll see, that of course being Christian Kelly. And we are just about set to start here. Opening pitch at Cal Poly Pomona at exactly 5 o'clock. You don't see that too often, but both teams are eager to get this one underway, and we are underway at that. Fastball high and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Tim Williams. Tim Williams, we saw him in the first doubleheader. These two teams splitting back on June 7th. It was a Saturday doubleheader. Williams, a very, very solid outfielder, called the strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Played in right field, and that's where he is today, and made a couple diving grabs over there in that doubleheader. And also came into that point, he was hitting like over 400 at that point. Called strike 2 on the outside corner, and it's 1-2 here for Jack Johnson. Johnson, as we mentioned, from UC Riverside, 6'0", 190 pounds, left-handed pitcher going against right-handed hitter. Head in the count here with that 1-2 count. Swung on and hit right back at Johnson. Reflex catch on the comebacker. And Williams is retired. So a line drive out right there that Jack Johnson shows the wherewithal to catch and kind of not flinch or panic or anything, as the ball was literally hit right back at him on the bump. Here comes Austin Wobrock, the shortstop for the San Diego Force, a left-handed hitter, so lefty versus lefty here. Jack Johnson, leg kick, pitch, swung on a high towering fly ball to shallow left field. Charging in and running out is Varela, and it drops in between Varela and the left fielder Michael Johnson in kind of that Bermuda Triangle zone. So that'll be a bloop signal and the first base runner of the day here for the Force. I say it was kind of the Bermuda Triangle, but the third equation of the triangle, Johnny Reynoso, was not out there, so it was only two guys converging on the ball, even though it hit in the shallow left field. And of course, the two guys I mentioned were the shortstop Varela and the left fielder Johnson. So 1 out, 1 on, top of the first inning. Pirates and Force just underway here from Cal Poly Pomona. Here's the pitch from Johnson, and this one misses away for ball 1 to Joshua Davis, the catcher. Well, Johnson has made a lot of pitches, a lot of outings this season so far for the Pirates, but no starts. This is his first start of the year. Towering fly ball hit to the right side. Calling for it is Fernando Escobar, and he'll camp underneath it and make the grab for the second out here of the inning. So 2 away and 1 on. That is Austin Wobrock, who hit the bloop single in the left field. As we are just getting underway in what should be a great game between two of the top teams in Southern California in summer collegiate baseball. Jack Johnson, we mentioned 22 innings pitched, and really is a strikeout pitcher. Look at all the strikeouts he has in those 22 innings. He has 32. Called strike on the outside corner to Hunter Ridge, the cleanup hitter, and it's 0-1 to him. So 10 more strikeouts than innings pitched is quite remarkable. Has a 1-2 record and 1 save as well for the Pirates. Here's the 0-1 offering high and away. Ball 1, 1-1 the count. ZRA is a 2.46 and his whip a 1.55. So very, very good season for Jack Johnson. And obviously, you know, he gets a lot of top competition playing in the Big West for UC Riverside, the Highlanders. Of course, the Big West having teams like UC Irvine and Cal State Fullerton and UC Santa Barbara. Of course, Irvine making the World Series. This one's lined into the center field for a base hit, so that'll be the second hit of the inning for the Force. And there are now 2 men on and 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Here comes Andrew Mallon, the designated hitter. Talk a lot about Jack Johnson, the fact that Johnson has a southpaw. He says his favorite team is the Dodgers, so based on that, you could probably guess who his 2 favorite players are of all time. That would be Clayton Kershaw and Sandy Koufax, both, of course, left-handed pitchers for the Dodgers. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup here for Johnson. He checks the runner at second, fires home, and misses inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Andrew Mallon. As we mentioned, these two teams splitting early in the season in a doubleheader here at Cal Poly Pomona. First game, the Pirates won 3-0. Fastball high and away, ball 2, 2-0 the count. And in that game, it was domination by the 2 pitchers that went for the Pirates that day, Michael Koval and Cody Arat, only allowing 1 hit in 9 innings en route to that 3-0 victory. And then in game 2, Pirates gave up 4 runs in the first inning. Sean Patton was actually injured and only went a third of an inning, allowing 4 runs. But the Pirates fought valiantly back. They made it a 4-3 game and wound up losing 5-3, but had a couple opportunities in the middle and late innings to either tie the game up or take the lead, but just couldn't come through. Here's the pitch. Line to the left side, and that will drop for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Austin Wobrock, and it's 1-0. The throw comes to third, but it's not in time. So that'll be a double for Andrew Mallon, an RBI double. And the Force have that 1-0 lead. So the left-handed hitter, Andrew Mallon, going to left field, just punching it to the opposite field. It's an outside pitch, and that's all you have to do. If you can just push it in the opposite field, get a base hit and hit it where they aren't, that's how you come through in that situation. Here's another left-handed hitter, and he swings at the first pitch he sees. This is John Montgomery. Fly ball over to the right side, and Fernando Escobar will make the catch for the second time in the inning to retire Montgomery. And so at the end of 1 inning of play, 1/2 inning of play, I should say, the Force on 3 hits take a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 the score. Force taking a lead in the top half of the first inning. Here is the starting lineup and batting order for the Pirates. It'll be Channing Varela at shortstop, batting first. Then it's Fernando Escobar at second. Alvarez in the 3-hole. Garlick batting cleanup. Batting fifth, Johnny Reynoso. Sixth is Johnson. Seventh, Kelly. Padlo, Henley, and Nathan Virgin round out the batting order. Fastball inside, ball 1. 1-0 the count here for Will Oliver, the starting pitcher for the San Diego Force. Right-handed pitcher who the Pirates actually saw earlier in the season. Line drive right side for a base hit by Channing Varela. On the second pitch, he sees number 2 Belton in the right field for a base hit. And Varela is a guy who has been coming on very strong over the last couple weeks and has really been raking over the last couple weeks and seen his batting average increase all the way to 270 heading into this game. Here's Fernando Escobar. Escobar, a mainstay at the top of the lineup, whether it be in the leadoff spot or the number 2 spot. Pickoff throw over to first. Not in time, actually gets away from the first baseman Johnson temporarily, but not far enough for Channing Varela to advance. In fact, Channing Varela was caught a little bit off guard there. And if that was a good throw, it might have been able to, pick him off there. Escobar awaiting the first pitch. Fastball outside, ball 1. 1-0 on the count to Fernando. Fernando, one of 4 San Francisco State Gators on the Pirates. Hitting .296 with a .356 on-base percentage so far this season. I mentioned that normally one of the top 2 hitters in this lineup, another pickoff throw, another bouncer over to first base. But really, Escobar was the leadoff hitter for the first probably 5 weeks of the season. And then he missed a week. And all of a sudden, as he comes back, he's the number 2 hitter. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled back out of play by Escobar. Escobar comes into the game with 8 runs and 6 RBIs. So a lot of production in that top of the lineup spot for number 1. 5'10", 165, left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. Fastball high and away for a ball. So the Pirates falling behind early 1-0 on a double down the left field line by Andrew Mallon. Position the Pirates haven't been in too often in this season, only 5 losses, and really haven't had to fight back and come behind pretty much ever. As this one misses high and away for another ball, and it's 3-1 here to Escobar. After Escobar, it'll be the heart of the lineup, and Alvarez, Garlic, and Reynoso. Of course, this is one of the final days of the regular season. Swung on a missed strike 2 for Escobar. Here today and then Friday are the last 2 days of the season. Of course, on Friday there will be a doubleheader against Team San Diego, which we will have live on our air starting at 2 o'clock. And then next Monday may have a playoff game here, depending on how the power do. Runner's off with the pitch, but the ball is low for ball 4, so it won't matter that Varela was going on that 3-2 pitch. Fernando Escobar showing why he is a top-of-the-lineup type of guy. As we mentioned, .356 on-base percentage, very, very good. Has very great plate discipline and knows the strike zone so well. And diagnosed that pitch to perfection as he draws the walk, and up comes Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez batting .372, .412 on-base percentage, and has really been an offensive starter of sorts for this team. Maybe not as many RBIs as you would figure, but with only 6, but 10 runs is a lot of runs scored for number 19. Fastball high and in for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Andrew Alvarez. Well, Andrew Alvarez, we talk about him as the pitcher of the month in June, but really easily could have been the player of the month in June if you consider how good he is as a pitcher, and we just mentioned his offensive stats as well. The runners are off with the pitch, high and in, and the throw is going to go down to second and overshoots the second baseman, and coming all the way around to score is Channing Varela, and it's 1-1. So Channing Varela steals third base. Fernando Escobar going late, or basically realizing that Varela was going to third, deciding to go himself on kind of a delayed steal. That draws the throw from the catcher Davis, who throws it over the head of his middle infielders, and all of a sudden it's a 1-1 game. Fastball swung on right side by Alvarez. That'll be a routine play for the second baseman Israel. 4-3 on that out. But the job is done in the sense that with no outs here, Alvarez advances the runner 90 feet into third base. And now the go-ahead run is 90 feet away with Kyle Garlick, the right fielder, at the plate. Here's the defensive alignment for the Force. Left to right across the outfield is Montgomery, Esser, and Williams. Left to right across the infield, Ridge, Wobrick, Israel, Johnson. Ground ball foul down the third base line. 0-1 the count here to Garlick. And the catcher is Davis, and obviously we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Will Oliver, the right-handed pitcher, is the starting pitcher for the men in blue Force wearing the navy blue shirts and navy blue hats and white pants. Numbers are a lighter blue color, while the Pirates, of course, ground ball foul, 0-2, are in their customary red shirts, white pants, red hats, and black bills of the caps. So Oliver jumps ahead of the hitter, Garlick, 0-2. Kyle Garlick, 6 for 13 on the season. The newest Pirate still. Here's the pitch. Swung and foul tipped. And it'll remain 0-2. Another 0-2 count to come here for Garlick. Garlick originally playing for the University of Oregon for the previous 3 seasons, and now is going to transfer here to Cal Poly Pomona. So that would make him the 8th Bronco on this Pirate team. On deck is Johnny Reynoso and the whole Michael Johnson, should a few guys reach base. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on the line to the right side. Nice diving catch made by the second baseman, Israel. But he won't be able to make the play at home, and Escobar comes in to score on the RBI groundout by Kyle Garlick. So Israel, full extension, robbing Garlick of a hit. But once again, Garlick's still getting the job done in the situation. It called for basically a ground ball up the middle or a fly ball with 1 out, and he did that, hit it very hard. Ground ball to the left side, a little roller by Johnny Reynoso, hit to his counterpart, the other hot corner player, Ridge, and he fires across the diamond and makes the play for the final out of the inning. So quick 1-pitch at bat for Johnny Reynoso. But the damage was done here for the Pirates in the bottom half of the first inning, scoring 2 runs and taking a 2-1 lead on only 1 hit, a couple stolen bases, an error by the catcher, and then the RBI groundout by Kyle Garlick. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the second inning. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us for this big non-league matchup featuring the San Diego Force and Inland Valley Pirates. It's 2-1 already, and only the top of the second inning. First pitch is swung and bounced foul by Cole Johnson, the first baseman. So it's 0-1 here to him as Jack Johnson remains on the mound for the Pirates. Some offensive fireworks in the first inning, something we haven't necessarily seen that much for the Pirates this season. Line drive in the left center field. Michael Johnson coming in, and now will have to back up and make the catch with a backhanded grab. And that'll be the first out here of the inning. It was a little bit scary for a moment there, as Johnson looks like he's kind of motioning with his hand that settle down, guys, as the bench was kind of letting him hear it, as he kind of really misplayed the ball but still made the catch. Here is Mitchell Esser, the center fielder, number 8 in the lineup. First pitch to him is swung on and missed, 0-1 the count. So it'll be Esser and then Israel, and then back to the top of the lineup should anybody reach base for the San Diego Force. We talked about the offensive fireworks. Well, there was one inning where the Pirates had offensive fireworks in the first inning, as this one misses low for a ball. And that was against the High Desert Heat in Game 2 of the doubleheader here at Cal Poly Pomona a week or 2 ago. They scored 9 runs in the first inning, 11 consecutive hits. Line drive foul and out of play down the right field line. Just a long strike there for Jack Johnson. Johnson is a bioengineering major at UC Riverside. Not the typical major you see for a lot of baseball players. Here is the pitch from the southpaw upstairs for ball 2, 2-2 the count. Hometown Riverside, went to JW North High School where he was a CIF champion. Scholar athlete, all-league twice. And most importantly, at least most importantly for him, another line drive foul down the first base line, is that he said he threw a one-hitter against Jay Serra in the playoffs, and that is currently his favorite moment in the game of baseball. As he asks for the count, and the home plate umpire confirms 2-2 the count here for Jack Johnson. Lefty versus lefty. Swung on and missed in the dirt, so Kelly's going to have to make the throw down to first, and he does to complete that strikeout. And that's the first strikeout here of the game for Jack Johnson, and the 33rd of the season for number 26. As we mentioned, coming into the game, he had 32 strikeouts in 22 innings, so 10 more strikeouts than innings pitched. and now has 33 strikeouts in 1 2/3 innings pitched. As the right-handed hitter, Zach Israel, steps up to the plate, the second baseman for the Force. First pitch he sees, fastball on the outside corner, called strike 1, 0-1 the count here. Talked about how the Dodgers are Jack Johnson's favorite football team. He also likes the Giants and Eli Manning. Here's a pitch. Called strike 2, slow off-speed pitch in there for that second strike. He's also very proud to be the first member of his family that has gone to college. As this one misses in the dirt for ball 1, 1-2 the count. And he's not just going to college, but obviously we mentioned in high school he was a scholar athlete, and also in college his major is bioengineering. So very, very intelligent guy is number 26, the southpaw on the mound. The 1-2 hangs high and away for ball 2, and it's 2-2 here for Johnson going against Israel. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we might see a few guys go a lot of innings in this game. It'll be interesting to see. Jack Johnson shaking his head a couple times on Christian Kelly's signs, and now finally likes what he sees. This one swung on, towering fly ball in foul territory, and now coming back in the field to play is Alvarez, who will make the catch for the final out of the inning. So 3 up and 3 down here in the top of the second inning, and at the end of 1.5 innings of play, it remains a 2-1 game. Pirates on top. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the second inning. 2-1 the score. Pirates leading the Force, and here comes Michael Johnson, and then Christian Kelly and Jason Padlow due up in this inning for the Pirates. First pitch from Oliver, fastball low and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count. And it is worth noting that the manager, Charlie Reynoso, is not here today. He is in Cape Cod, coaching for a week out there. Checks his swing and misses inside. The appeal down to first, and they say he is safe, meaning he did not go, so it's 2-0. So Coach Espinosa is the manager and the third base coach for this game. Here's the 2-0 offering from Oliver. Fastball away, ball 3. 3-0 the count. Michael Johnson making that catch out there in left field in the last inning, where he came in on it, kind of misjudged it a bit, but still made the grab, but made it look a little more exciting than it needed to be, as this one's called a strike, and it's 3-1 here to Michael Johnson. Johnson, .219 batting average this season, 7 RBIs and 3 runs scored for the Pirates. Swings at this one and drives it to the right side. 2-chopper over to the second baseman, Israel, and he will make another play. So Zach Israel recording 3 assists already in just the second inning. There's a ground ball out by Alvarez to him. Then the ground out by Garlick that actually scored a run. And that was Fernando Escobar. And, of course, that last one by Michael Johnson. Here's Christian Kelly, the catcher, batting .302. Swings the first pitch he sees and drives it straight back at the screen. 0-1 the count. Christian Kelly leading the team in RBIs with 10 this season. Also has 7 runs scored. And those 10 RBIs are really in the first month of the season. He's kind of struggled a little bit lately, but still has that 300-plus batting average, so obviously still a good season overall. Breaking ball called a strike, and it's 0-2 to Kelly. I know something that Kelly was specifically working on this summer was the bat, because when you look at him behind the plate as a defensive catcher, he's one of the best that you'll see. Here's the 0-2, called strike 3 on the outside corner. And Kelly will head back to the dugout. Disappointed as Jason Padlow walks up for his first at-bat. Padlow batting .226 on the season and a .333 on-base percentage. Padlow 7 runs and 2 RBIs. Another one of the 8 Cal Poly Pomona members of this Pirate team. First pitch to him is called a strike on the inside corner, 0-1 the count. 5'11", 200-pound right-handed hitter going against the right-handed hurler, Oliver, for the Force. Swings at this one, high chopper over towards the third baseman, Ridge. He catches on the one hop, and a nice backhanded catch over there by the first baseman, Johnson, to kind of bail him out of a potential throwing error. And the side is retired in order here by Will Oliver. It'll remain 2-1 as we head to the top of the third inning. Pirates leading. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the third inning. 2-1 the score, Pirates leading the Force. Back to the top of the lineup for San Diego, Tim Williams, Austin Wobrock, and Joshua Davis. Meanwhile, on the mound for the Pirates now is Aaron Reynoso. First pitch he throws is swung and fouled straight back at the screen directly over my head. Aaron Reynoso has been very strong this season for the Pirates. 17 innings pitched. A 1.06 ERA, 1.00 whip. This pitch is swung on, and this is driven a mile high in the foul territory. Andrew Alvarez looks like he has it under control, but he can't make the catch over there in foul territory. He was struggling with seeing a bit and tried to make a kind of basket grab, but couldn't make it. So that'll be strike two here to Tim Williams. Reynoso 1-0 on the season, 1 save, and has 7 strikeouts in those 17 innings pitched. Here's the 0-2, and that is a slow off-speed pitch that hits the hitter on the left wrist. Tim Williams really not getting out of the way of that one at all, not showing any effort to do that, but why would you do it when you know it's going to hit you, especially when it's an 0-2 count? And that is a major no-no if you're Aaron, just in the sense that, I mean, you obviously never want to hit a hitter, but especially when you have an 0-2 count. Here's Austin Wobrock for his second at-bat. He's 1 for 1 and scored the run, the only run of the game so far for the Force. Aaron Reynoso, 5'10", 205-pound right-handed pitcher, working out of the stretch. Fires, sacrifice bunt laid down, but it will go foul down the first base line. 0-1 the count here for Austin. Reynoso has, I believe, one more semester to finish here at Cal Poly Pomona before graduating. His major is business administration. Shakes his head from Christian Kelly's sign, shakes his head again, and now finally nods in approval, as once again squaring around very early in a sacrifice situation is Wobrock, the number 2 hitter in the lineup. He grounds this one to the right side and does his job to perfection, as Reynoso will throw down to first and get that sacrifice out there. But Tim Williams does advance up 90 feet in the scoring position. So the Force with another runner in scoring position here in the third inning, as everybody from the bench will come out and congratulate number 19 for the job well done in the form of a sacrifice bunt. And now you sacrifice the leadoff man over to second base, and you have the heart of the order coming up, and Joshua Davis, the catcher, he's 0 for 1, flew out to the second baseman Fernando Escobar. A lot of plays going to second base today for both sides, as this one misses away for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Escobar has already been involved in a couple plays, and the second baseman Esser for the Force has been involved in 3 plays. Line drive to right field. That is hit a mile deep. And is it fair? That was the only question. It's foul. Slicing foul. But that was a very well hit ball by Joshua Davis. Kind of just waited on it and ripped it. But once again, foul. So just a long strike for Reynoso. Reynoso, if you recall, one of the probably most unfortunate parts of his season was giving up a grand slam to Jack Spahn in a game that the Buccaneers won 11-2. Checks the runner at second, comes home, and this one is cranked out in the right field for a base hit. Charging it is Kyle Garlick, and he's going to come up firing the plate. Alvarez will let it go through, and it's now 2-2 as Tim Williams comes home to score on the RBI single by Joshua Davis. So a lot of runs being scored so far here in the first 3 innings, in the sense that it's 2-2 in a Pirate game, which typically that'll be the type of score that you'll see for an entire game, you know, like a 3-2 score when it's going against a top opponent like this. Here's Hunter Ridge, the cleanup hitter. He's 1 for 1 with a single. Ridge, the left-handed hitter, going against the right-handed pitcher, Reynoso. Slow off-speed pitch, swung on and missed, and it's 0-1 here. Aaron Reynoso aspires to work in the front office of a baseball organization when his days of playing baseball are over. hometown Upland and went to Western Christian High School, where he is a second-team All-League performer. Taking his time, as he usually does, and now fires home. Fastball high and away, 1-1 the count. As we mentioned, we figured to see a lot of pitchers. Jack Johnson started the first 2 innings and allowed 1 run, 1 strikeout. Here comes Aaron Reynoso. We also figured to probably see, by the time this game's over, Jordan Sheffs and maybe Andrew Alvarez for an inning or 2. Swung on and missed another off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. And Hunter Ridge really can't figure out that off-speed pitch yet. He was way out in front of it both times it came. In fact, the chain on his neck basically flung the back side because he swung so hard. Reynoso very deliberate, taking his time and firing. Outside, ball 2, 2-2 the count. Another very warm day here in Pomona. I think yesterday was the exception if you were listening to the Buccaneers game. That was definitely the coolest game we've had all season long. This one misses low for ball 3. Full count to come. Payoff pitch for the cleanup hitter, Hunter Ridge. There were actually people wearing sweatshirts at yesterday's game, but today, pretty much the same old Cal Poly Pomona weather. Here's the full count pitch. And this one is swung and lifted foul and out of play down the third base line and over the third base dugout. So we'll do it again. Another 3-2 pitch to come from Aaron Reynoso. Reynoso delivering his 7th pitch of the at-bat here to Hunter Ridge. Ridge is 1 for 1 on the day, hoping to get to 2-2. Meanwhile, Reynoso hoping to retire him. This is another high fly ball lifted to shallow left center field. Shielding his eyes is Johnson, and then coming in and making the catch in front of Johnson is the center fielder Nolan Henley for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 outs, top of the 3rd inning, 2-2 the score. 1 run has been scored in this inning. Tim Williams was hit by a pitch on an 0-2 count and then sacrificed over to second base. And Joshua Davis, with the RBI single, scores him to knot it up at 2 apiece. Here's Andrew Mellon. He takes strike 1 on the inside, 0-1 the count to Andrew. Andrew's 1 for 1 with an RBI double. So he produced the first run for the Force. Also checks the runner at first and now comes set, working out of the stretch, as he always does, whether there's a runner on base or not. Slow off-speed pitch called to strike. That'll be strike 1, 1-1 the count here for Aaron Reynoso. Of course, Reynoso, his brother is on the team. That's Johnny. His cousin Matthew as well on the team. And his father, Charlie, the manager. We mentioned that Charlie's not here today. Foul tipped off the catcher's protective gear. And it's 1-2. And we mentioned the reason why he's not here is because he's in Cape Cod coaching for a week. And is looking to hopefully set up something for next season for the Pirates to travel out there for a week and play a few games against some of the teams out there in the Cape Cod League. Sure, that would be a ton of fun. As this one misses outside, ball 2, 2-2 the count. Not just fun, but also just being able to challenge yourself against some of the best competition in the nation would be certainly a great experience for the Pirates if they do indeed get the chance to do that next season. Of course, also getting to challenge themselves against some of the best competition in Southern California this season. Ground ball up the box, up the middle. Charging and fielding is Escobar, and Escobar temporarily bobbling and losing it almost, but he kind of barehands it with his right hand, slides and tags the base for the force out there at second, and that'll do it for this top of the 3rd inning. 1 run scored on 1 hit for the San Diego Force, who tie it up at 2 apiece as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning in a 2-2 ball game. Nolan Henley set to come up, and then it'll be Nathan Virgin and Channing Varela in the lineup for the Pirates. Oliver remains on the mound. Fastball high for ball one. One on the count here to Nolan Henley, hitting .218 on the season, .295 on base percentage. But his 11 runs and 8 RBIs are among the team lead in both categories. Fastball inside, called a strike, 1-1 the count. So even though the batting average isn't quite what you would think it would be, still with his runs and RBIs, as we mentioned, near the top. 8 RBIs is only 2 away from the lead, and 11 runs only 3 away from the top run scorer. That would be Greg Espinosa, and the top RBI man is Christian Kelly. This one misses low and away. Ball 2, 2-1 the count here to Nolan Henley, the 5'11", 175-pound right-handed hitter. He takes this one inside, and it's now 3-1. So hitter's pitch to come for number 3 from the University of Laverne, where he'll be a junior next season. One of 3 members of the University of Laverne in the Inland Valley Baseball Association. Swings and misses at the off-speed pitch, and it's 3-2. Of course, one is on the Buccaneers. That would be Diego Cortez. And then the other one on this team is Brett Early, who's not here today. Late kick, and here's the 3-2. Broken bat, and it's hit to the left side, deep in the hole. The shortstop goes back and makes the throw. Nice arm displayed right there by Wobrick to go deep in the hole and really fire a cannon over there to the first baseman, Johnson. So that is now, as the bat goes thrown over to Varela in the on-deck circle, as it was broken in half and flew down the third base line. 5 consecutive outs here for Oliver. Here's the pitch. Called strike on an off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1 here to Nathan Virgin. Virgin batting .311 with a .429 on-base percentage. Mentioned in the last game, both Virgin brothers having great on-base percentages, and this is grounded up the middle. Making a leaping catch is the shortstop, and he won't be able to make the throw there in time as Nathan Virgin, hustling down the line, beats it out for an infield single. The throw, really the play made by the shortstop Wobrick, was very, very impressive. The fact that he was able to get the glove on it and kind of leap and still fling it over there to first and almost be able to get Virgin out in time was very impressive. The throw pulled the first baseman off the base a little bit as it was a little high. Still impressive nonetheless that Wobrick was able to even get it close. Once again, we talk about Virgin being an on-base machine, as the first pitch that Varela sees is lifted down the first base line and fell and out of play, 0-1 the count to him. But once again, coming to fruition is the fact that he is an on-base machine. And so the Pirates get their first runner in a long time here in the third inning. I say a long time just because there's been a couple runs scored by each team, but actually that nobody had reached base since Fernando Escobar, who scored the second run of the game and was the second hitter of the game before that last single up the middle. This one misses low for ball 1. 1-1 the count to Channing Varela. Varela 1 for 1 with a single. Stole third base and scored on a wild throw by the catcher. It was an error, throwing error, as this one misses low and away for a ball. What happened on that play was Varela had third base stolen, and Escobar noticed that Varela was trying to steal third base and just assumed that the catcher wouldn't try to throw it to second. So Escobar, leaving late, tries stealing second, and the catcher throws it to second but overshoots the middle infielders, as this one is foul tipped into the glove of Davis, and that'll be the second strike. So that was how the Pirates scored their first run, and then the second run scored on an RBI groundout by Kyle Garlick. Here's the pitch. Big breaking ball. Gets by the catcher. That'll be a wild pitch. And Virgin will head to second base and get in the scoring position here for the Pirates. That had a lot of bite to that last breaking pitch. Very hard, fast bite. And it's now a full count. So payoff pitch to come here for the Pirates, and the leadoff hitter Channing Varela going against Will Oliver, the right-handed pitcher for the Force. He checks the runner at second, comes set and fires. Ground ball left side. This might be trouble for Oliver. He barehands it and throws over to first and makes the play. Really nice play made right there by number 26. Virgin advancing 90 feet to third base. That's okay for the Force just because that's the second out of the inning. So it wasn't necessarily like a sacrifice situation where you get the guy over a base. But still, for the Pirates, you like the fact that you have the go-ahead run 90 feet away from scoring, especially considering there's already been a wild pitch in this inning. First pitch fastball at the knees, called strike 1 to Fernando Escobar, and it's 0-1. Escobar reached on a walk, drew the walk on a full count back in the first inning, and stole second base and scored. Ground ball left side, backhanded grab made by the shortstop, and another throw across the diamond by Wobrick retires Escobar, and that'll do it for the third inning. At the end of 3 innings of play, it remains a 2-2 ball game. Pirates and Force tied as you're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 4 we go. 2-2 the score. Pirates and Force knotted up here as we have another new pitcher, and that'll be Cody Arat. First pitch he throws, called a strike on the inside corner. 0-1 the count here to the left-handed hitter John Montgomery. Montgomery is 0 for 1 with a fly out to the second baseman Escobar. Of course, Cody Arat is one of 17 returning players for the Inland Valley Pirates. As this one misses outside for ball 1, 1-1 the count. Cody Arat, 6'3", 215-pound southpaw from Linfield, Oregon, where he went to the Division III World Series the past 2 years. Slider of the backdoor variety in there for a called strike on the inside corner, and it's 1-2. And this is a guy who went 5 innings against the Force back in June and got the win in the first game of the doubleheader. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and it looked like John Montgomery was really fooled on that pitch by Cody Arat. And Cody Arat had the chance to talk to him earlier in the season about his slider and how much movement it has and how it really just seems to start on the right side of the plate and goes all the way across to the left side. And he laughed and said sometimes he doesn't even know where it's going to end up going when he releases it. Here's Cole Johnson, 0 for 1 with a fly out to left field. First pitch strike on the inside corner, and it's 0-1 here for Cody Arat. Mentioned going to the D3 World Series both as a freshman and a sophomore. So he knows nothing different than going to the World Series. His first year they actually won it at Linfield. And then the second year they went 2-out as this one misses low for ball 1, 1-1 the count. But he says he kind of treasures the second appearance more than the first because the second time he was more part of the team. First time he's kind of just taking it all in. High in ball 2, 2-1 the count. And he didn't play as much as a freshman, but as a sophomore he was one of the mainstays in the rotation. Here's the 2-1. Low and away, ball 3. 3-1 the count. So far this season, Cody Arat has tossed 11 2/3 innings, 2-0 record, and 12 strikeouts. So a strikeout pitcher, more than 1 strikeout per inning for the left-handed pitcher. Here's the pitch. 3-1. Right down Broadway, 3-2 now as that's called a strike. He talked about the win-loss record and the strikeouts to innings pitched ratio. Already has 1 strikeout here against 1 batter, but now this one misses low and away for ball 4. So that'll be a walk for Cole Johnson and the first base runner here in the 4th inning for the Force. But really, I would say probably one of his, or 2 of his most impressive stats would be he has a 0.77 ERA and a 0.60 whip. And a whip is walks and hits per innings pitched. So that means just about every 2 innings you get 1 either walk or hit. So that's very rare for anybody basically to reach base against Arat. First pitch swung on and missed by Mitchell Esser as the Pirates went lefty, righty, lefty so far. I mentioned probably going to see a bunch of pitchers in this game just because of the fact that Fridays there's a couple league games. Fastball called strike 2, 0-2 the count here. And so basically you want to save everybody, have everybody ready for Friday, what could be a very, very meaningful 2 games should the power go down today. Otherwise, everybody will be locked into their seats in the playoffs as this is high and tight. Kind of backing his head out of the way is Mitchell Esser, and it's 1-2. Esser 0 for 1, struck out back in the 2nd inning. Was struck out by Jack Johnson, who started the first 2 innings of this game. Here's the pitch. Swung and flied foul behind home plate. So we'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch to come here. Jack Johnson, sorry, not Jack Johnson. Cody Arott going against Mitchell Esser. Cody Arott already pitching more innings this season than last season. Last season only throwing 10 1/3 for the Pirates. Ooh, another high and in pitch. That kind of gets away from Arott. And once again, Mitchell Esser having to kind of jump out of the way and back his head out of the way. And it's 2-2. Arott's hometown is Yucaipa and went to Yucaipa High School, where he was a first-team Citrus Belt League selection. Here's the pitch. Slider misses low and away. Ball 3, 3-2 the count. So another full count here for Cody Arott. Last hitter he faced, Cole Johnson, also had a full count and ended up walking. Let's see if he can come on the better end of this one. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and bounced foul towards the first base dugout. Of course, the Pirates dugout is the first base dugout, attached to the Cal Poly Pomona clubhouse. That's why they take that first base dugout. Normally, the home team will be in the third base dugout. Here's the full count offering. Swung and foul, tipped over towards the third base dugout. And the on-deck hitter, Zach Israel. He picks it up and tosses it over towards the Pirates dugout. As we have an epic at-bat ensuing right here between Mitchell Esser and Cody Arott. Well, as we mentioned, we've already seen Jack Johnson and Aaron Reynoso. And now here's Cody Arott. Also, maybe we'll see Ryan Romero, who's here today. Here's the pitch. Ground ball up the middle over towards Fernando Escobar. He flips backhanded to the shortstop Varela, and they get the force out there. Varela trying to turn it, but couldn't do it in time. But you get the lead runner out at second base for the second out of the inning, as Mitchell Esser reaches on the fielder's choice. 4-6 if you're scoring at home. Here comes the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Zach Israel. He's 0 for 1. Flew out to the first baseman, Andrew Alvarez, in his first at-bat back in the second inning. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. Swung on and lifted foul down the first base line. So it's 0-1 here. Cody Arott towing the rubber from the left side of the mound. Takes a look at first. The runner goes, swung on and missed, and Christian Kelly decides better of making the throw down to second base, as it's 0-2 and there are 2 outs in the inning. So Kelly deciding that the runner was off pretty early and also just want to focus on this hitter, try to get him out with 2 strikes. Arott checks the runner at second, no one holding on, comes home, swung on and missed, strike 3, so that's exactly what they do, as Cody Arott gets his second strikeout of the inning. And the side is retired here by Arott. And at the end of 3.5 innings, it remains a 2-2 ball game. Force and Pirates locked up here at Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-2 the score. Pirates and Force tied here at Cal Poly Pomona. And this is a good spot in the lineup for the Pirates. Heart of the order, 3, 4, and 5. Andrew Alvarez takes inside for called strike 1. 0-1 the count to the 6'4", 230-pound right-handed hitter. Started his career at Pepperdine before transferring to Orange Coast College. Swings at this one and lifts it foul, but that will be playable for Cole Johnson, the first baseman, and he will make the catch. Oh, there. So Alvarez is retired, and here comes Kyle Garlick. Garlick 0 for 1, but had an RBI groundout back in the first inning, scoring Fernando Escobar, giving the Pirates a temporary 2-1 lead before the Force came back and scored a run in the 3rd inning to tie it up at 2 apiece. Here's the first pitch, and this hits Garlick right in the left arm. And he will hustle down to first base. And that was a fastball. Made a really loud thud. But he worded it well, did number 44 Garlick. And here's Johnny Reynoso. Reynoso 0 for 1, grounded out to the third baseman, his counterpart, if you will. Of course, Johnny is the third baseman for the Pirates. So 1 away, bottom of the fourth inning, 2-2 the score. Reynoso at the plate, Garlick on first. And Johnson on deck. First pitch called a strike, and it's 0-1 to Johnny Reynoso. Johnny Reynoso, 5'11", 185-pound left-handed hitter, headed to West Texas A&M next season, where he will be a junior. Played for Citrus College the previous 2 years. Ground ball left side, will get through the hole. Nice diving backhanded grab made by the shortstop Wobrick, but it was too deep in the hole to be able to try to make a throw to first, so that'll be an infield base hit for Johnny Reynoso. As he will get some congrats from Coach Espinoza over at first. We have Alex Espinoza at first and Vic Espinoza at third, the two base coaches in this game, so it's a family affair. The only one we're missing is Greg, who actually isn't here today. Heard he was in Vegas from some of his teammates. Ground ball foul down the third base line and towards the third base dugout. 0-1 the count here for Michael Johnson, who's 0 for 1 in this game. Rounded out to the second baseman back in the second inning. One of 8 Cal Poly Pomona players. Majors in kinesiology here. And aspires to become a physical therapist one day. Here's the 0-1. Called strike 2 on the inside half. 0-2 the count. On deck is Christian Kelly and the hole Jason Padla. As Will Oliver nods his head in approval at the catcher's signs and likes what he sees. Checks second base, no one holding the runner on. Fastball away, ball 1, 1-2 the count here to Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson's hometown is Chino. Went to Don Lugo High School, where he was a first-team All-Mount Baldy League selection. Also a second-team All-CIF selection, which is really funny if you consider how well he did his senior year. To be second-team All-CIF and bat .531 for the season. As this one misses low and away for ball 2, 2-2 the count. Many players on this team went to Don Lugo High School. Both the Virgin brothers definitely went there as well. Micah Byer, actually on the Buccaneers, went there too. So did Christian Kelly, the man on deck. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Down goes Johnson. So Christian Kelly will have to remove his leg gear and head up to the batter's box for his second at-bat. He's 0 for 1, struck out looking back in the second inning. Second inning, the only inning so far where the Pirates didn't get at least one man on base. They were retired in order back in that second inning. Otherwise, they've had a runner on base every single inning in the first, third, and fourth. Right now, in scoring position is Kyle Garlick. Ground ball right side. Two-chopper over to Christian Kelly. And that one is thrown to first base. Two-chopper, I should say, hit by Christian Kelly. It was over to Israel, who fields cleanly and throws out Kelly at first base. And so that'll do it for the fourth inning. 2-2 the score. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the top of the fifth inning in a 2-2 game. Pirates and Force in a battle as we thought it would be here with two of the top teams in Southern California for collegiate baseball. Once again, leading off here and swinging at the first pitch he sees. Ground ball up the middle. Nice play by Channing Varela. Spins around and makes the throw to first base for the first out here. It was Tim Williams who was leading off once again. Leadoff hitter leading off the first, third, and fifth innings for the Force. Now falls to 0 for 2 on the day, but was hit by a pitch back in the third inning and scored the second run of the game, which tied it up at 2 apiece at that point, which is actually still the score right now. Here's the number 2 hitter in the lineup, Austin Wobrook. He is 1 for 1, singled and scored in the first, and then had the sacrifice bunt in the third. Swings at the first pitch he sees and lifts it into straightaway center field. Backing up and backpedaling is Henley, and he makes the catch for the second out. So 2 pitches and 2 outs here for the Force in the top of the 5th inning, as the number 3 hitter Joshua Davis steps up to the plate. He's 1 for 2. RBI double back in the 3rd inning. As we get a little bit of a wind gust here at Cal Poly Pomona. A pretty rare wind gust at that. Here's the pitch. And this one hits off the right elbow of Joshua Davis. So another hit batter. Second of the day for the Pirates. First hit batter was by Aaron Reynoso. Now this one by Cody Arott. And he has a protective elbow thing on his right elbow, so not even sure if he really felt that right there, as he kind of just jogged down to first base, acted like he was more than fine. Here's the cleanup hitter, Hunter Ridge. Ridge is 1 for 2, singled in the first, and flew out to center field in the 3rd inning. Lefty versus lefty matchup. Swung on and missed. 0-1 the count here for Hunter Ridge. Hunter Ridge comes up for the 3rd time in the day and has seen 3 different pitchers. Called strike 2, 0-2 the count. Must be a little bit frustrating if you're a hitter on the Force, just in the sense that, and obviously we talked about this at the beginning of the broadcast, the Pirates are basically trying to get all the pitchers just kind of loosen their arms up and warm their arms up for Friday. Towering fly ball slicing down the left field line. Michael Johnson tracks it and makes the catch maybe 5 feet away from the foul line for the final out of the inning. So the side is retired here in the 5th inning. One man reaches on a hit by pitch, but it remains a 2-2 game. We are halfway through this ball game. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-2 the score. Pirates and Force doing battle here at Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you've joined us for this non-league matchup. 8, 9, and 10 in the batting lineup is where we are at. That's Padlo, Henley, and Nathan Virgin for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 5th. Padlo steps in, the 5'11", 200-pound right-handed hitter, and takes strike 1 at the knees. 0-1 the count to him. He, of course, has baseball running through his bloodlines. Here's the pitch. Line drive straight back at the pitcher, and nice reflex grab made by Oliver for the first out. The reason we were saying that he has baseball in his bloodlines is because his grandfather and father played in the minor leagues, and now his younger brother is doing that as well, just to kind of tie the knot on that story. Very quickly as Nolan Henley approaches the plate. Henley is 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop back in the 3rd inning. First pitch from Oliver to Henley is swung, and will it stay fair? Yes, it just stays fair over the first base bag, and the first baseman Johnson will step on the bag for the second out of the inning. So Henley quickly retired here in the 5th, and up comes Nathan Virgin. Virgin hit the infield single up the middle back in the 3rd inning. Nathan Virgin, the younger of the 2 brothers, Anthony also on the team as well. Nathan is heading out to Cal State Monterey Bay for his junior season next year. First pitch is called a strike to him at the knees. 0-1 the count. 6'0", 180-pound right-handed hitter going against the right-handed pitcher. As this one misses low, and it's 1-1. Another guy who played at Citrus College. A lot of players who either currently play at Citrus College or previously played at Citrus College on the Pirates, as well as the Buccaneers. This one misses low, and it's 2-1. At Citrus College at 350, and was a second-team all-conference selection this past season. Late kick, and here's the 2-1. Ground ball, right side, little roller over to the second baseman Israel, who fields it cleanly and makes the throw over to first base. And the side is retired in order here for the Pirates in the 5th inning. It remains a 2-2 tie between the Force and Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. So Coach Espinosa continues with the, I guess you'd say maybe the tradition here in this game. You go lefty, righty, lefty, and now righty, as Ryan Romero comes in to replace Cody Arott, who went 2 innings. First pitch from Ryan Romero, swung on and missed for strike 1 by Andrew Mallon. 0-1 the count here. Mallon is 1 for 2, had the RBI double back in the first inning, and also grounded out to the second baseman, Fernando Escobar. On a play that Escobar actually stepped on second base to end the inning. This one misses away, 1-1 the count. Ryan Romero, one of the few players for the Pirates not from Southern California. This one's lined up the middle for a base hit by Mallon. So that'll be the second base hit of the day for him. And we were just mentioning Ryan Romero's from Nampa, Idaho. Went to Columbia High School out there and was the Southern Idaho Player of the Year as a senior in high school. Currently plays for San Francisco State, where he'll be a senior next year. One of 4 San Francisco State Gators on the Pirates, now is hunched over tying his shoelaces. As the left-handed hitter John Montgomery steps up to the plate. Montgomery 0 for 2, flew out to the second baseman Escobar in the first and struck out in the fourth. Here's the pitch from Romero. Swung on and foul, tipped off the edge of the bat towards the third base dugout, 0-1 the count. Ryan Romero, one of 2 players on this team that went from Fullerton College to San Francisco State last year. Pickoff throw to first, not in time. At Fullerton College, he and Fernando Escobar ended up making it to the state championship in the JC level, but fell. For both transferred to San Francisco State. Another pickoff throw, not in time. Trying to keep Mallon on his toes over there at first base. Here's the pitch from Romero. This one is grounded to the right side. Takes a wicked hop at the last second. Escobar fields cleanly, and they get the force out at second. Varela trying to turn it, but couldn't get it there in time, as Alec Morabito made a leaping catch to make sure that the ball didn't get by him and potentially have a runner on second base. So Montgomery reaches on the fielder's choice. 4-6 on that fielder's choice. As we said, Morabito is in at first base. He came in the last inning to replace Alvarez. Line drive up the middle. One hopper to Varela. He flips it to second. That'll be a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play for the Pirates. So some very good pitching in this game to get out of mini jams, I guess you would say. And at the end of 5.5 innings of play, it remains a 2-2 game. It's the Pirates and Force tied here on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-2 the score. Pirates and Force tied here at Cal Poly Pomona, as we're back to the top of the lineup and Channing Varela and then Fernando Escobar on deck. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul down the first base line, a little nubber off the edge of the bat, and it's 0-1 here to Channing Varela. He's 1 for 2 in this game, singled and scored back in the first inning, and grounded out to the pitcher in the third inning. Hit the little ground ball to the third base side that initially I thought he might be able to beat it out, but the pitcher Oliver making a barehanded grab and firing in one motion made a really great play to retire him on that one. Big breaking pitch called a strike at the knees, 0-2 the count. Varela batting .270, but those numbers have picked up a lot over the last couple of weeks. He's really been in a zone for the Pirates the last couple of weeks. The right-handed hitter from Riverside City College. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Swung and missed, and that is strike 3. So down goes Varela, and here comes Escobar. Fernando is 0 for 1, grounded out in the third inning, and then walked and scored in the first inning. Also stole a base. And here comes, looks like Alvarez will bat as this one is swung on, and it's a little roller over the left side in the shortstop. Wobrick throws out Fernando Escobar, so 2 up and 2 down here in the 6th inning. Wobrick, that shortstop, really has a cannon over there and is shown time and time again he's a very, very good fielder, as well as having that rocket arm. And here is Andrew Alvarez with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning, 2-2 the score. Figure that maybe the reason he might have came out was maybe loosening up in the bullpen. Fastball inside, ball 1, 1-0 count. As we mentioned, we do figure to see everybody getting some time pitching-wise. So that would probably include Alvarez and Chefs, who's also here. As this one is called a strike at the knees. 1-1 the count. It is the 6th inning, so probably you figure Romero will go the 7th, and then maybe you'll see Alvarez in the 8th and Chefs in the 9th. There's some kind of combination of this. This is a high chopper over to the first base side, fielded by the pitcher Oliver, and then flipped over to first base. And that will be 3 up and 3 down here in the 6th inning. And that also happened in the 5th inning, so 7 consecutive retired here for Will Oliver. As we head to the top of the 7th, it remains 2-2 between the Pirates and Force. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Still 2-2 tie. The 5th pitcher is in here for the game for the Pirates. That'll be Andrew Alvarez, who comes in to replace Ryan Romero. For Romero, it was Arat, Reynoso, and Jack Johnson. First pitch swung on and fouled out of play down the third base line. 0-1 the count here to Mitchell Esser. Esser's 0 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd inning and grounded out in a fielder's choice back in the 4th inning. Alvarez working on the windup, fires, ground ball right side to Hopper, routine ground ball over to Fernando Escobar, and the catch can't be made by Morabito at first. So that'll be an error on the first baseman. Anthony Virgin is in at third base. He actually came in the last inning to replace Johnny Reynoso over there at the hot corner. And we mentioned obviously earlier that Morabito had come in a couple innings ago. Here's Zach Israel, 0 for 2. Flew out to the first baseman, Alvarez at the time, and then struck out in the 4th inning. This season, Andrew Alvarez, of course, was the pitcher of the week the very first week media came together and collaborated. Runners off with the pitch. This one is swung on foul down the third base line. And more importantly, was the SCCBL pitcher of the month for the month of June. This season, 35 1/3 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, 5-0 record for number 19. Let's see if the Force try to put on a play, whether it be a sacrifice or maybe a hit and run. And they're squaring around, and he misses to Zach Israel. So that's strike 2. So that was a very, very big miss on that bunt, because now you think for all intents and purposes that the bunt will be off here with a 2-strike count. Alvarez's ERA is 1.27 on the season and a 0.99 whip. Here's the pitch, fastball, little nubber off the edge of the bat. Charging is Virgin. He gloves it, but won't be able to make the throw in time. So that'll be an infield base hit, and the first 2 runners reach base here in the 7th inning for the Force. The first runner reaching on the error by Alec Morabito, and the second one reaching on a little nubber that maybe went about 15 feet down the third base line. And Coach Espinosa will call for time, and the entire infield will join Andrew Alvarez at the mound, as you feel like, I guess, maybe they're just going to try to settle him down a little bit, but you feel like really neither guy hit the ball hard, so it's not like there's anything you really need to talk to him about. It's nothing that he's done wrong so far. As we're back to the top of the lineup here for the San Diego Force, and Tim Williams. Williams is 0 for 2. Lined out to the pitcher back in the 1st inning, which at that time was Jack Johnson. Was hit by a pitch in the 3rd and scored, and then grounded out to the shortstop in the 5th inning. As Coach Espinosa will head back to the first base dugout, and the entire infield will go back to their positions on the field with no outs and 2 runners on base here in the top of the 7th inning. Big moment right here for Alvarez going against the Force. As we mentioned, this is a huge non-league matchup. Pirates coming in 23-5, and the Force 32-7 overall. So you're seeing some of the top talent that Southern California has to offer in this game. Sacrifice bunt tried to lay down, but it's foul by Tim Williams, and it's 0-1 now as he fouled it back behind home plate. Clearly, with no outs and 2 runners on base, this would definitely be a sacrifice situation for the Force in a 2-2 ballgame. We thought runs were going to be at a premium in this game, and it has held true as this one is fouled, another bunt attempt, and it's 0-2. But initially it didn't look like it was going to be that way because 3 runs were scored in the first inning. The Force coming out and scoring 1 in the top of the first on an RBI double by Andrew Mallon. And then the Pirates getting 2 back in the bottom of the first. There's an RBI ground out by Kyle Garlick that scored Fernando Escobar. And also scoring in the inning was Channing Varela. So it's 2-1 after just 1 inning of play. Breaking pitch in the dirt, nice stop by Christian Kelly to ensure that the 2 runners didn't potentially advance 90 feet and into scoring position. And then the Force got another run in the top of the 3rd inning and tied it up at 2 apiece. That run was scored on an RBI single by Joshua Davis. And that's where we stand, 2-2 the score. Top of the 7th inning. Pirates and Force doing battle. Wide drive up the middle. Nice diving catch made by Varela, and tries to flip it to second but couldn't double up the runner in time. But still, full extension. Great play by Channing Varela to rob Tim Williams of a base hit. Laying out for that one. And so that'll be the first out here in the inning, and a very, very big first out for the Pirates because now you feel like, obviously, first of all, there's not a sacrifice situation here with 1 out. And secondly, you feel like if you can just get a ground ball, you can get a double play and get out of the inning. Here's Austin Wobrick, the shortstop. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Singled and scored back in the first inning. Sacrificed in his second at bat. Ground ball right side. Oh, it takes a wicked hop over the head of Escobar. And in comes a run to score, and it's 3-2 Force. And that is something that we haven't seen pretty much all season long, to be honest, is a bad bounce in the infield. And this one shot up to about maybe 12 feet high in the air as it was well over Fernando's head, and there's nothing he could do about that one. So it's 3-2 now here with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Israel went to 3rd on the play. And Wobrick is on first base. Here's Josh Davis, the number 3 hitter in the lineup for the Force. Pickoff throw to first, not in time. Davis flew out to the second baseman in his first at-bat, had the RBI double in the 3rd, and was hit by a pitch in the 5th. Here's the first pitch from Alvarez to Davis, and it's called a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Of course, the run that came in, Esser reached base on an error. Here's the pitch. And this one misses low and away for a ball. It's probably a play that Alec Morabito makes 99 out of 100 times. Maybe he just took his eye off it at the last second. Couldn't make the catch at first base. And against some of the best competition and good teams, that's something that you can't afford to do. It's something that's really plagued the Buccaneers all season long, not so much the Pirates, but can't afford to give them an extra out in an inning. Snap throw down to 3rd, and this is going to be an error by Christian Kelly that goes in the left field, and in comes the 4th run of the day for the Force in the form of Zach Israel. Also advancing the second was Austin Wobrick on that play. So a very uncharacteristic inning of the Pirates here in the 7th inning as the Force take a 4-2 lead. Two and 1 the count here to Joshua Davis. Here's the pitch. Fastball lifted into right field, and that is a deep fly ball. Going back and not being able to make the play is Bryce Cherry. Cherry had his glove up for a long time. It looked like he might have been able to get to it. Cutoff throw into Escobar. Escobar fires a dart to home plate, and they caught him at the plate. Austin Wobrick is gunned out. Great relay play by Bryce Cherry and Fernando Escobar to make that out there. But it's still 4-2. As Josh Davis has the double and then advances to third on the throw home. Here comes the cleanup hitter, Hunter Ridge. He's 1 for 3, singled in the first, and flew out to the outfield a couple times. Takes strike 1, 0-1 the count. So a really good relay play by the Pirates to stop another run from coming on the board. Breaking pitch in the dirt, 1-1 the count. That was Bryce Cherry in right field, so obviously he is in for Kyle Garlick now out there in the outfield. This one misses low for a ball. And it's 2-2. Here's the 2-2 offering, and this one's low in the dirt, and it's 3-2. Actually, I believe it's 3-1. So tough inning for the Pirates. Called strike 2 as the hitter, Hunter Ridge, was basically heading down the first base line and thought he had a walk there. That's something that always kind of frustrates an umpire, but the umpire was calling strike even before he did that. It's now a full count. Alvarez checks the runner at third. Virgin not holding him on. This one's lined in the left field. And a diving catch made by Michael Johnson. Backhanded diving catch, robbing an extra base hit from Hunter Ridge. But the damage was done in this inning. The Force scoring 2 runs on Andrew Alvarez, and they take the 4-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 7th. It's time to stretch here at Cal Poly Pomona. To the bottom of 7 we go. 4-2 the score. Force on top of the Pirates. 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup is where the Pirates are. That's Kyle Garlick here as he takes Lone away for ball 1. And it'll be Anthony Virgin and Jacob Bernardi. So Virgin and Bernardi will get their first at-bats of the game. Here's the pitch. Big breaking pitch. Called a strike at the knees. And it's 1-1 as the third base dugout really liked that last pitch. Here's the 1-1 offering from Oliver. Ground ball right side. He might have cracked his bat. It sounded weird off the bat. And that'll be a routine assist right there for Israel. Was made a lot of plays over there at second base today. So that is the first out of the inning here for the Pirates in the bottom of the 7th. Force took the 1-0 lead back in the top of the first. Pirates responding with 2 in the bottom half of the first before the Force tied it up 2-all in the third. This one misses inside for a ball. 1-0 the count here to Anthony Virgin. And then the Force getting 2 in the last half inning in the 7th to take that 4-2 lead. Oliver has gone the whole way for the Force. Off-speed pitch, swung on a miss. Way out in front of it was Anthony Virgin. This is Anthony's first at-bat, but he did come in the field as a replacement for Johnny Reynoso back in the 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Called strike 2. Looked like Anthony didn't really like that call. Kind of gritted his teeth, even though he stayed in the batter's box. Lots of guys will kind of walk out of the box, but he stayed in there. Here's the 1-2. Fastball in the dirt, ball 2. 2-2 the count for the 6'0", 200-pound right-handed hitter for the Pirates. We were talking about earlier the fact that he's from Chino and went to Don Lugo High School. Swings and misses at this one, and down he goes. So that'll be a strikeout. He was a really good player at Don Lugo. As Jacob Bernardi comes up for the first time today, replacing Michael Johnson. Bernardi is 0 for 2, grounded out. Actually, Bernardi's in for Johnson, I should say, so Johnson was 0 for 2. This is a fastball on the outside corner, called strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Jacob. On deck is Christian Kelly. Bernardi, 6'2", 190-pound right-handed hitter. Swinging at this one, a high, slow bouncer to the left side, and he'll beat that out. Charging was the third baseman Ridge, and he couldn't handle it. But that'll definitely be considered an infield base hit for Jacob Bernardi. So the Pirates finally getting a man on base. It's been a while. 10 consecutive hitters were retired by Will Oliver before that base runner right there for the Pirates. And here comes Christian Kelly. Kelly takes the first pitch for strike one, 0-1 the count. Of course, Kelly was an all-SCCBL performer last year, one of 4 All-Stars on this Pirate team. Hoping to maybe get back there again and play in that game next Saturday in Palm Springs this year. Line drive to right field. Will that stay fair? It is fair down the right field line. Rounding second and heading to third is Bernardi. And Bernardi is being held up at the last second by Coach Espinosa. He was running halfway down the third base line was Coach Espinosa, and I was wondering if he was going to send him. But that'll be a stand-up double for Christian Kelly. So all of a sudden, Pirates looking for a 2-out rally here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Kyle Garlick grounded out, and Anthony Virgin struck out, but then Bernardi reaching on the infield base hit, and Christian Kelly hitting the double down the right field line. And now here comes Alec Morabito, who will bat in Jason Padlow's spot in the lineup. Morabito entering at first base back in the 4th or 5th inning, as we're going to have a mound visit from the San Diego Force coach here with Will Oliver. Wondering if maybe this will be the end for Oliver, as we do see movement out there in the bullpen down the third base line. But no, it looks like he's just going to try to settle him down and try to let him get out of the inning, because the movement is pretty early and pretty new, as the pitcher over there is not even on the mound yet. He's just kind of loosening his arm up. So maybe just trying to buy the pitcher in the bullpen a little bit of time too, just in case. But the tying run now is in scoring position at second base in the form of Christian Kelly. It's a 4-2 game. Both runners in scoring position for Alec Morabito. The left-handed hitter from Cal Baptist. Another, of course, returning player for the Pirates. One of 17 on the team. On deck is Bryce Cherry. So Cherry will hit in Nolan Henley's spot in the lineup. First pitch is called a strike, and it's 0-1 here to Alec Morabito. Morabito, 6'0", 170-pound left-handed hitter, going against the right-handed pitcher Oliver. Oliver working out of the windup. Fires ground ball up the middle. Will it get through? Yes, it will get through. One run comes home to score, and rounding third and coming home is Christian Kelly. The play to the plate, slides around it, and he's called safe, and it's 4-4. What a game. Back and forth we go. It was interesting how the home plate umpire was calling that, because I thought all along he slid around it, but he was pointing, and normally when they point, it's an out. But he was pointing to say that he slid around the tag in this scenario. And just like that, after the first 2 hitters in the inning are retired, 3 consecutive hits tie it up at 4 apiece. What a game. As Alec Morabito is now on second. Ground ball up to the left side. Two-hopper. Charging is the shortstop, Wobrick, and he makes the throw to first to retire Morabito here for the final out of the inning. But the Pirates get right back in it, as both teams score 2 runs apiece in the 7th inning, and it's now 4-4. It was the infield single on a slow, high chopper by Jacob Bernardi, then the double down the right field line by Christian Kelly, and then Alec Morabito, the 2 RBI double up the middle to tie it up at 4 apiece. We'll head to the top of the 8th inning in a brand new ballgame. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 8 we go. We have another new pitcher. First pitch from Jordan Shefts is high and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Andrew Mallon. Mallon is 2 for 3 on the day, and this one misses low for ball 2. 2-0 the count. So Pirates sending about every pitcher they have to offer here. Looks like Shefts will close out the final 2 innings. Fastball misses low, and it's 3-0 here for Jordan Shefts, 6'2", 185-pound right-handed pitcher from UC Irvine. And that'll be a 4-pitch walk drawn by Andrew Mallon. who now reaches base for the third time in 4 plate appearances. And that is certainly nothing that you'd like to see for the Pirates, as a big left-handed hitter, John Montgomery, steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 3 in this game. Flew out to the second baseman in the first inning, struck out in the fourth, and grounded out in a fielder's choice back in the 6th inning. Here's the first pitch to him. Fastball, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Well, after a guy comes in and throws 4 balls, I think probably the take sign was on there for number 44 on the force. Here's the 0-1. Nice breaking pitch, called strike 2, and it's 0-2. So after falling behind 3-0 and then walking the first hitter he faces on 4 pitches, Chefs comes right back and gets 2 strikes against the next hitter. And now this one is swung and fouled out of play down the third base line. Well, this game has been an interesting game to say the least. In the first inning, we had 3 runs scored, 1 by the Force and 2 by the Pirates. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, right side, slow ground ball. Morabito will throw to second, and it's another error on the first baseman as the ball goes in the left field. And the Force have a runner on third base now with no outs. So Alec Morabito making an error back in the last inning that ends up costing a couple runs. Then gets a 2-run double to kind of make up for it, but now has a throwing error here in this inning. And Pirates are in trouble again with no outs, runners on the corners here in the top of the 8th inning. And what has been a crazy game. Not the typical Pirate game. Here's Cole Johnson. Called strike 1, 0-1 the count to him. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Did reach on a walk back in the 4th inning. But we were saying how it's a crazy game because the runs have come in waves. Here's the pitch from Chefs. Called strike 2, 0-2 the count. Nice off-speed pitch. He had the 3 runs scored in the first inning and then 1 more in the third. So basically 4 runs in those first 3 innings. Then 4, 5, and 6, innings 4, 5, and 6. No runs scored at all. And then 4 runs scored in the 7th, 2 by each team. Slow breaking pitch. Just misses low for ball 1, 1-2 the count. Well, obviously in this scenario, if you're Chefs, if you can potentially strike out this hitter, Cole Johnson, and then get to Mitchell Essner and get a ground ball double play, that would be just what the doctor ordered. But this is not going to be a strikeout. This is going to be a line drive into right field for a base hit, scoring 1 run, and it's 5-4 here as the cutoff throw came into second base, and sliding back to the bag is John Montgomery safely. So Cole Johnson comes through with the RBI single, scoring Andrew Mallon, and it's 5-4 now. Coach Espinosa will walk out to the mound as the entire infield will join him, and coming in late is Alec Morabito. Well, this is not, as we mentioned, the typical Pirate game, because most Pirate games you see, the Pirates basically just shut down the other team. And this game, though, going with a lot of pitchers, and so it's a situation where, well, maybe the pitchers, some of them aren't necessarily in the zone, so to speak, in the sense that they know they're only pitch 1 or 2 innings, so their head's not completely in it. But right now what we just had was an error, which is why that first run comes home to score. We're going to get a pinch runner at second base for the Force. But the Pirates are going to have to come back again. They trailed 1-0 and went ahead 2-1. Then it was tied 2-2, and they trailed 4-2 and came back and tied it 4-4. And they're going to have another comeback in them if they want to win this game no matter what. Here's the pitch, squaring around and now bringing it back is Mitchell Esser. Still no outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Andrew Mallon reaching on the walk and scored. Then went all the way to third base on the throwing error by Alec Morabito. Here's the pitch. Bunt down the third base line, foul. And it's 1-1. And then the RBI single by Cole Johnson. once again, in this situation, if you're Chefs, you're definitely looking for a ground ball to potentially try to turn 2. Here's the pitch. But once again, they're sacrificing this hit towards Chefs. Chefs is going to throw to first, and the throw pulls Morabito off the bag. So that'll be another error. So the bases are now loaded for the Force as Coach Espinosa calls for time. Maybe he's arguing the call at first, thinking that potentially Morabito is on the bag. I'm not sure. And I think that is what he's doing. He's calling for the home plate umpire. And they both agree that Alec Morabito's foot was off the bag. So another, as we mentioned, the last inning seemed uncharacteristic of the Pirates. And then another one where you have a couple errors in the inning. And it seems like for some reason, for whatever reason, they just can't put it together here. And the later innings here against the Force, the infield has come in with the bases loaded. Force anywhere. Here's the pitch. High and in, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Zach Israel. Israel 1 for 3. Singled and scored back in the 7th inning on yet another error in this game. At that point, it was like Christian Kelly who was catching. Now it's Dylan Lowenstein. Swung on and fouled back at the screen. So 4 errors in this game for the Pirates, costing them mightily in the 7th and 8th innings. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. 1-2 the count here to Zach Israel. Israel's been very busy in the field today at second base. Has made a lot of plays for the Force. Also, the shortstop's been busy as well. Swung on and fouled out of play behind home plate. And it remains 1-2 here for Jordan Chefs. Bases are loaded, no outs. Top of the 8th inning. This one swung and fouled out of play down the first base line, so we'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch to come for Chefs. Standing on third is John Montgomery, who reached on the error by Morabito. On second is Cole Johnson, who had the RBI single. And on first is Mitchell Esser, who reached on the error by Chefs. Fly ball lifted to center field. And the catch will be made, but that'll be a sac fly, scoring another run, and it's now 6-4 Force. So the catch is made out there in center field for the first out of the inning. Back to the top of the lineup we go. And Tim Williams. Tim Williams has led off 3 innings in this game. Obviously not leading off here, and this one's going to hit him. And that's actually the second time he was hit by a pitch. And the first time he was hit by a pitch, he ended up scoring. And if you do recall, when he was hit by a pitch the first time, it was an 0-2 count. And the bases are loaded again here with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning for the Force. Here comes Austin Wobrick, the shortstop, who we alluded to earlier, having a very good day out there in the field. Also having a pretty good day at the plate. 2 for 3. RBI and a run scored. Called strike 1 at the knees, 0-1 the count. And he also had a sacrifice bunt that ended up scoring a run, or ended up leading to scoring a run. Here's the pitch. Strike 2 on the inside half, 0-2 the count. As Wobrick was questioning the home plate umpire, but it looked like a pretty good strike from where I'm sitting. 6-4 the score, top of the 8th inning. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, little number off the edge of the bat. Chefs is going to flip it over to home, and they get the force out there at home plate. So that retires Cole Johnson, who's out on the fielder's choice. Everybody else moves up a bag on the fielder's choice. And here comes Joshua Davis, the catcher, the number 3 hitter in the lineup, and also having a pretty good day at the plate as well. Had the RBI double back in the 3rd inning and the double in the 7th off of Andrew Alvarez. So 2 extra base hits for this hitter wearing number 18 in the force, batting in the number 3 spot in the lineup. This one misses low for ball 1, 1-0 count. This is the last non-league matchup of the game, of the season, I should say. Fastball in there for strike 1, 1-1 the count. After this, it'll be 2 against Team San Diego on Friday, a doubleheader starting at 2 o'clock. And then it'll be the playoffs, which will start either next Monday or next Tuesday, depending on seeding. Line drive up the middle, and that's a base hit. In comes 1 run, and rounding third is Williams, and coming home to score another run is Williams, and it's 8-4 on a 2-run double by Joshua Davis. So Davis with his 3rd double of the game. And all of a sudden it's 8-4. And the Force have now hit through the lineup, as this is the number 9, or this is the 9th batter in the inning to come up to the plate, Hunter Ridge. Ridge is 1 for 4. So it was really exciting in the bottom of the 7th, as this one is lined into deep left field, heading back and going back towards the track and the wall is the left fielder, and it bounces. 1 hops off the wall. 2 more runs come in to score, and it's 10-4 Force, as it's another double here for Hunter Ridge. So the San Diego Force bats really coming alive here in this inning. Also were aided by a couple of errors as well. And it was 4-4 at the end of 7, and all of a sudden 6 runs, and it's 10-4. And this is the man who started this entire inning off. And this one misses for a ball. 1-0 the count. Andrew Mallon. He started this inning off with a walk and scored. It was a 4-pitch walk, so he comes in for the 2nd at bat of this inning. Fastball, strike 1, 1-1 the count. This will stop a streak of 5 wins in a row for the Pirates, unless they come through with 6 runs in the next 2 innings. They would have to get very hot with the bats. They did show life in the last inning, though, so obviously it can be done. And see that Will Oliver was probably on the out. Called strike 2. So it'll be interesting to see who the Force bring out in the next inning, whether it be Oliver to finish this game off or a relief pitcher. Here's the pitch. Foul ball down the third base line. An excuse-me hack by the hitter Mellon, but a good excuse-me hack in the sense that he fights off the pitch and stays alive to see another pitch, another 2-strike pitch to come. Here's the pitch, swung and fouled behind home plate and out of play. This game was very interesting, out of the ordinary for a Pirate game, and we talked about it a lot, but the whole game was kind of topsy-turvy, and it settled down a while from the 4th through 6th innings where nobody scored. Then all of a sudden in the 7th, each team getting 2 runs, and then in the 8th, the Force putting up a 6 spot here in the top of the 8th. and take the 10-4 lead with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Ooh, just misses for ball 4. And so Andrew Mallon walks for the second time in the inning. Here comes John Montgomery. Montgomery reached on the error by Alec Morabito and wound up scoring. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch low and away for ball. 1-0 the count. One-0 is a fastball in the outside corner called strike one. 1-1 the count. So for the Pirates, you gotta obviously have good short-term memory, as this one's lined over to the shortstop Varela, and he'll make the catch for the final out of the inning. So the inning is mercifully over for the Pirates after 11 hitters come up and 6 runs score, and it's 10-4 fours as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And we're just going to say before that last out there that you got to have some good short-term memory if you're the Pirates and just kind of forget about it and go right back after it here in the bottom of the 8th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 10-4 the score, as the Force just had a 6-run top of the 8th. Fastball high and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count here for Nathan Virgin. This is a new pitcher. This is Josh Evans for the San Diego Force. This pitch is swung and fouled out of play down the first base line by Virgin. Well, for the Pirates, you fell behind initially 1-0 and you took a 2-1 lead before the Force tied it and wound up going ahead 4-2. This one's swung and fouled down the first base line again by Virgin. So it's a 2-strike pitch now, and he's going to have to protect the plate. But then after that 4-2 lead, the Pirates responding immediately in the same inning, knotting it up once again at 4-apiece before the top of the 8th, where the San Diego comes through with 6 runs. Virgin, another foul ball out of play down the first base line, this one traveling a little bit farther. Here's the pitch from Evans. Fastball swung and fouled out of play behind home plate. So Virgin fouling off 4 in a row. If you're Oliver, you think maybe you're ahead in the count. Maybe you'd try to throw a purpose pitch here and try to maybe catch Virgin in fishing as something low and away, or maybe even try to catch him chasing at a fastball high. This is actually an off-speed pitch up and in for a ball. Well, for the Pirates, you can't get cheated on any of these at-bats to come here down to your final 6 outs and you're trailing by 6 runs. Got to have good discipline at-bats, and that's what's going on right here as Virgin takes another pitch, and this one's a fastball outside for a ball. On deck is Channing Varela, so back to the top of the lineup after Virgin. And this one hits off the left shoulder of Nathan. So Nathan will head down to first base. And the Pirates start the inning off with a leadoff runner, so that's good. And now back to the top of the lineup, so that might be even better. We mentioned earlier in the season, the Pirates did have a 9-run inning against the High Desert Heat. And the first inning of the second game of a doubleheader here at Cal Poly Pomona. And that was an incredible, incredible inning to say the least. They'd have to come up with something like that here in this inning, as this one swung and fell out of play by Channing Varela, and it's 0-1 to him. Varela is actually 1 for 3. He singled and scored back in the first inning, grounded out in the third, and struck out in the 6th. Fastball called strike 2, 0-2 the count. This time they have 2 innings to work with. And they don't have to get 9 runs, obviously, but They would have to get 7 to come back and win it. 6 to tie at this point, so Pirates are really going to have to go to work offensively. Fastball swung on, and this is a towering fly ball. Hit to shallow left field. Coming in is Montgomery, and he drops it. Throw now coming in the second is in time. Wow. They make the force out at second base as the outfielder dropped the ball in left field, and Virgin was halfway because he was tagging up, and he couldn't make it to second in time. It was a really close play there, but the second base umpire punching out Virgin. So Channing Varela reaches after the fly ball is dropped out in left field, but the force is made at second. Line drive left side through the left side hole for a single for Escobar. So now you think of what sort of could have been, in the sense that really you could have had your first 3 runners on base. One of them would have been an error, but still you would have taken bases loaded with your number 3 hitter Andrew Alvarez at the plate. So 1 away, bottom of the 8th inning, 2 men on. Alvarez at the plate, Garlick on deck. Here's the pitch. Fastball grounded up the middle. This could be a 6-4-3. Actually, it's just going to be a 6-3 double play attempt, but the throw, it gets away from the first baseman. And that'll be a run scored here by Varela on the error by the shortstop. So Escobar is out, and Alvarez reaches on the fielder's choice. It was 6 unassisted on the out. Shortstop Wobrick stepping on the bag and trying to do kind of like a 180 spin and throw it to first, but misfired and allowed the Pirates to score a run here. First pitch to Garlick, low and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Here's the 1-0 offering. Swung on and missed. Fastball, 1-1. Well, the Pirates get 1 run back, but they're going to need to get 5 more with only 4 outs left to work with in the game. But we mentioned it's not out of the realm of possibility. They've have had a 9-run game, and this is another error on the shortstop, who had a very, very good game. Wobrick had a really good game up until this inning and makes 2 consecutive errors here. One allowing a run to score and the other allowing the inning to continue. Here comes Anthony Virgin. He's 0 for 1, struck out in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Fastball, low and away, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Well, Anthony Virgin has been very good in terms of getting on base all season long. If he can get on base right here, line drive to center field, it'll drop for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Andrew Alvarez. The throw is down the third base line, and so that's another run that comes home to score on the RBI base hit by Anthony Virgin, and it's now 10-6. So a very interesting game, to say the least. There's lots of plot twists and turns, but there's still going to need to be one more major plot turn for the Pirates to come out ahead. They have gotten 2 back, though, and they still trail by 4. Here comes Jacob Bernardi. First pitch fastball, paints the black on the outside, called strike 1. 0-1 the count here. But if you recall back in the last inning, the 7th inning, this was the guy who started the 2-out rally, runners off with the pitch, and steals second base. So Anthony is in there safely, and there's now 2 men in scoring position here for Bernardi, but it's an 0-2 count as the pitch was called a strike at home plate. Still, you got to like the sense that you have 2 men in scoring position with the opportunity to maybe cut the deficit again, but Bernardi swings and misses at this one, and down he goes, strike 3. So the Pirates, they get 2 runs back, but not enough to get the 6 runs as we head to the top of the 9th inning. It's 10-6, Pirates trailing the Force. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the top of the ninth inning. 10-6 the score. Pirates trailing. The San Diego Force will have another new pitcher, and this will be Morabito, southpaw. So Andrew Alvarez will go back to first base. And Morabito on the mound here against Cole Johnson. 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup is where the San Diego Force are here in the ninth inning. First pitch bounces low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Late kicking, here's the pitch. This one is lined into center field. Charging in and not being able to get there in time is the center fielder. So that'll be a base hit here for Cole Johnson, as Virgin could not get there in time. So another leadoff base runner for the Force here in the top of the ninth inning. 10-6 the score. It's really kind of crazy to just kind of recap this game, all the runs that have been scored, but most of them coming in that last inning in the 8th, as this one misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Mitchell Esser. 6 runs being scored in that 8th inning, breaking a 4-4 tie. Here's the pitch, and this one misses low for a ball. Alec Morabito not throwing that many innings this season. Only has thrown 5 2/3 so far. Did pick up a win though. And this one misses low for a ball. Ended up going 2 2/3 innings against the Palm Springs Power in the first game of their four-game set this season. Swung on and missed. And I know that was kind of a hard outing for him because he kind of didn't think he was even going to go in that game. And then wound up throwing 2 2/3 and giving up a few runs to the Power. This is a pitch in the dirt for ball 4. And so the first 2 men reach base here in the 9th inning. Johnson with the single up the middle, and Esser with the walk. And here's Zach Israel, the number 9 hitter in the lineup for the Force. Well, the Force certainly haven't gotten cheated in their at-bats. Here's the pitch. Called a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Entire lineup getting 5 at-bats in this game, as this is the number 9 hitter, now up for his 5th at-bat. And the top of the lineup will get 6 in this game. We'd have to look at how many runs the Pirates have allowed this season. Nice leaping catch, and they'll double off the runner at second base. So Channing Varela, first of all, robbing the hitter of a base hit, springing up about 12 inches in the air, and then having the wherewithal to throw it to second and catch the guy off at second base to complete that double play. So back to the top of the lineup, and Tim Williams for the Force with 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. 10-6 the score. Here's a pitch from Morabito, and it misses low and inside. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. Good job by Lowenstein to stop that baseball and to make sure that the runner didn't advance over to second base and get in the scoring position. You want to keep that 4-run deficit if you can. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 the count. Because 4 runs is still doable. If you're the opposing team, you always want it to be a 5-run game because one swing of the bat can never tie it up. 4 runs, you could still tie it up. We've seen a grand slam hit here this year by Jack Spawn for the Buccaneers. Actually hit it against the Pirates. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2. And actually we saw an inside the park home run and an inside the park grand slam, actually, I should specify, for the Buccaneers as well. That was hit by Anthony Seminaris. Called strike 3 at the knees. And so Morabito records the strikeout as Tim Williams kind of looked like he was in disbelief of the call by the home plate umpire. But that'll do it for the top half of the 9th inning. It remains 10-6 as we head to the bottom of the ninth. Will the Pirates be able to make an epic comeback? It'll be Christian Kelly to lead things off. Morabito. And that's where the lineup will be for the Pirates. When we come back, you're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back, as it'll be Dylan Lowenstein batting here for the Pirates. Lowenstein actually came in at catcher, and this will be his first at-bat of the game. Came in catcher earlier in the game, as this one is swung and fouled back. There's also a new pitcher for the San Diego Force. That's Carter Loud, the left-handed pitcher, wearing number 41. Here's the pitch, and this one misses upstairs. Ball 1-1-1 the count. So Dylan Lowenstein is going to have to start an epic rally for the Pirates in this inning. Swings and misses at this one, and it's 1-2. Lowenstein has been struggling at the plate. And was just happy in the last game that he lined one, but it ended up being a line out. This one is hit off the hands over towards the pitcher, who flips it to first base. So that is the first out of the inning. 1-3 on the putout as Loud tosses it over towards his first baseman, Colt Johnson. And the Pirates are now down to their final 2 outs here with Alec Morabito at the plate. Morabito had the 2-run double back in the 7th inning, which actually tied the game up at that point at 4 apiece. Then the San Diego Force exploding for 6 runs in the 8th. Fly ball fell and out of play down the third base line. 0-1 the count here for Alec Morabito. Morabito actually pitched the last inning. Pitched a scoreless 9th. Called strike 2. 0-2 the count to Morabito. Get Bryce Cherry on deck. Lefty versus lefty. Here's the pitch. Swung on a miss. Strike 3. And down goes Alec Morabito. So 2 up and 2 down here for Carter Loud. And here comes Bryce Cherry. Cherry's 0 for 1. Grounded out to the shortstop. Back in the 7th inning. Came in to replace Nolan Henley. Here's the pitch. Called strike on the inside half. 0-1 the count. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Well, for the Pirates, this is going to be a tough one to handle, as this one misses low for ball 1. 1-2 the count to Bryce Cherry. Just in the sense that you fought back and you tied it up at 4 apiece, and the wheels kind of fell off the wagon, so to speak. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and that'll do it for this game. Final score will be 10-6. The Force defeat the Pirates. And so the Force end up winning 2 of the 3 games played by these 2 teams over the season. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast these 2 teams split earlier in the year. And actually on that day when they split, it felt like Pirates were definitely the better team in the sense that they probably should have won the second game of the doubleheader as well. Here today, it was a little different or a little unique in the sense that Pirates are throwing pretty much every pitcher 1 or 2 innings. And you never had the sense for like a full starting pitcher coming out here to play the game, and it ended up hurting them. But really, what ended up hurting the Pirates the most were a bunch of uncharacteristic errors, at least 4 errors that I can remember, maybe even 5 in this game. But obviously, you still have to produce the runs if you're the Force, and they did, and they ended up scoring 10. It's interesting to think of. I can't remember a game where this many runs have been scored against the Pirates. I mean, they've lost games, obviously, but I would have to think that the game they lost against the Heat scored 6 runs. That's the most runs I remember being scored against the Pirates all season long. 6 runs in that doubleheader in Victorville. But 10 is obviously a lot more than 6, and the Force scored 6 in that 1 inning. So anyways, it's a tough loss for the Pirates, but they'll have to just basically forget that this won't even happen, because they have a huge doubleheader coming up on Friday against Team San Diego. Well, it'll be a huge doubleheader depending on how the Power fare tonight. If the Power loses, Pirates still control their own fate for the #1 seed on Friday. But if the Power win, Pirates are locked into the #2 seed. And if the Power win, we know that there will be a Monday playoff game against Team San Diego here at Cal Poly Pomona next Monday. So as we were saying, our next broadcast will be On Friday at 2 o'clock, it's a doubleheader against Team San Diego. Both games of those doubleheaders will be on our air, and then we'll have to kind of sit patiently and wait to see what happens with the Power, and if the Power lose, what happens on Friday in terms of when the next Pirates broadcast will be. There will be one. It's just a matter of what day and what time, I guess you would say, next week. So that'll wrap it up for this game. A tough loss for the Pirates. They lose 10-6 to the San Diego Force, but no shame in losing to the San Diego Force in the sense that we mentioned their record 32-7 coming into today, so now 33-7. One of the better teams the Pirates will see all season long. Thanks so much for joining us. Of course, I'm Dave Soberi on the play-by-play, and we'll see you next time, which will be Friday at 2 o'clock.